psychology hack that you have to know as a salesperson and remind yourself of it again and again and again. I'm going to call it the sizzle, the dopamine drizzle. When you ask people about themselves, about their work, something that they're interested in, and they have the opportunity to respond to you and you ask a follow-up question with genuine interest, dopamine is releasing in their brain. They will then look back at that interaction and associate that positive high with you.
Okay, first, I don't know what all this was in her video. I can hold the video steady so you're not waving in and out and getting me a little nauseous. But aside from that, that seemed like she took a long time to say something pretty straightforward, which I would rephrase and broaden to be build rapport with people. If you've got something that you want to sell or you want to talk to somebody about, you want to convince them of something, you want to get them to see your side of things, the best way to do that is to build rapport, right? People will buy from people they like. They're more likely to have a good association with you if they like you, if they thought you were a nice person and friendly and, you connected with them. And the way to connect with them is to build rapport. And the way to build rapport is to have a back and forth. If somebody says hello and then you just word vomit out all kinds of information that you want them to absorb, think about, and make a buying decision on, you're going to completely have lost them. You didn't build any rapport. If you're trying to build a connection, you're trying to build rapport, a great way to do it is to ask them about themselves, about something they've just said, about some common connection you have, and let them talk. They should be doing talking as much or more than you're talking. In sales, if you're trying to sell somebody something, you want them to be doing a lot of the talking so you can hear what they're having a problem with, where their pain points are, what it is that they want out of the deal. And then you can tailor what you're saying to make sure that if you've got the right solution for them, you can offer that. But if you're just doing all the talking, you don't know what they want, you don't know what their pain points are, you don't know what's motivating them, and you're just trying to push something on them. That's the worst way to do sales. So she had a long explanation to say what I would say is build rapport. And one of the greatest ways to build rapport with somebody is to talk to them, ask them questions, find out about them, get them to elaborate, get them to share more with you, and then you can respond and you build a connection. Like, two real people in the real world. It's easy to forget that sometimes because we're so used to email and Zoom calls and all kinds of digital communications and social media and whatever, but just two people actually talking back and forth is the way to build a connection. And from a connection, you're much more likely then to have sales success if you have something useful to sell them, because now they like you and they're more willing and receptive to listen to what you have to say.
Here's a secret pricing strategy that you can use for your business. So if you analyze the pricing strategy for most businesses, they actually use a 3-tier pricing strategies. This consists of basic pricing, intermediate pricing, as well as advanced pricing. We can easily see this happening in companies like Starbucks or even software companies. So why this works is that people actually don't really know what kind of product or service that they need, let alone the price that they're willing to pay. So what this gives is an illusion of choice. So usually the goal is to get the customer to choose the intermediate pricing, because basic is just a foot to the door, intermediate seems just alright, and advanced may be too much for the customer.
Okay, well, yes, there is some validity to that. Giving people some choices is better than one or no choice, but too many choices is also problematic. There's been a lot of studies on this, not just around pricing, but just around general product selection and customer satisfaction. And most studies come up with 3 as the optimum number. I don't know if Starbucks is the right example because there the price directly correlates to size, right? You have tall, grande, and venti, and those have different prices, but they're obviously, immediately differentiated by size. And some people want to have more of the drink and some people less. But other products, it's less clear that they need, they need 3 options or 4 or 5 or 2 options. A lot of times the extras that they add on to get the higher priced ones aren't really very valuable or don't add much to the actual product, but it makes it seem like there's a reason to have a higher priced option and then sort of drive people to focusing on the middle. I would not start with the idea that we need to come up with 3 of anything and then 3 different prices. I would really sit down and think about what are you offering and what are the natural breaks in services or add-ons that make sense, and then let that kind of dictate how many choices you have. And it may just be 2, maybe 4 is what makes sense, but there should be some logic and a reason behind it. And if somebody comes to you and says, I'm not sure which one to pick, you should be able to help them navigate that decision. And there are some people who get by just fine with just one option. That's the one thing that everybody wants. That's the one size that fits everyone, or the one set of features that everybody is looking for. And that can work too. So I think theories like these can help somewhat, but you also don't want to overthink it or feel like you suddenly need to comply with this way of doing things. It can work in a lot of situations, but it's not an absolute, and don't let it make your decisions for you. Just let it help you inform your decisions.
Don't say 100, say 99.99. Don't say buy now, say try now. Don't say learn more, say discover more. Don't say discount, say special.
That's 5 tips. I definitely agree with the first one. For most people, 99 is better than 100. That's just pricing psychology that's been around forever. That's not really a new discovery. The other things, I mean, buy now, people are looking to buy. Buy now makes sense. Try now makes it sound like a trial. Do you have to give it back? Are you gonna have to pay more later? There are certain situations where try now might make more sense. There's plenty of people looking for discounts, so special offer is just a fancy word for discount. I would say the best way to know for sure for your market is test it. Show half of the people one version, half the people the other version, and see which one performs better. That's the best way to know what's going to actually work for you. But other than the first one, the pricing tip, I'd say none of those are compelling enough to say for sure one is going to work better than the other. It depends on the market, who you're selling to, what you're selling. And there might even be cases where $100 is fine. 99 isn't going to generate a lot more sales than saying $100. Most of the time though, if you're not sure, you haven't tested, you don't want to take the time to test it, use 99, not 100. But all the rest of them, they really need to be tested to know whether that's legit or not.